Hello, my name is Heather Charles, and today I will be providing a presentation of the Strategic Human Resource Management Plan for Bourbonville, Kentucky. Let's start with the results of the environmental scan and the SWOT analysis that was conducted, which is the basis of the strategic plan. So one of our findings was that the expected workforce changes over the next 5 to 10 years include about a third of the city's current workforce becoming eligible for retirement. And of that third, about half of those who will be eligible will be in management ranks of employees. The expected population changes over the next 5 to 10 years included, unfortunately, a decline in population levels for the general region as residents move elsewhere seeking employment. The largest group of people who will be moving out demographic-wise are 18 to 30-year-olds, and they will be leaving in the biggest numbers. These changes are going to result in a loss of revenue as the population decreases, potentially resulting in a need to reduce the number of city staff and employees. The level of service the city must provide is unlikely to decrease significantly despite these changes. Use of the incorporation strategy of human resource management provides an ideal solution to this dilemma by moving employees up and into managerial roles left vacant by retirees and by not hiring an additional staff member to replace these retiring employees. The duties previously the responsibility of those employees who have been promoted to a management position can be either retrained to other employees or maybe added to the duties that the promoted employee is in charge of. So the framework for this strategic human resource plan, like I said, is going to be the incorporation strategy. I chose this because I'm hoping that it will address the future human resource needs of the city of Bourbonville while facing the likely budgetary cuts and loss of managerial level employees that we will see in the next 5 to 10 years. The incorporation strategy, or the build your own capacity strategy, operates like you think it would based on that description. The city will focus on investing in and increasing its internal capacity to generate the future human resources the city will need through professional development and training of existing city employees. This approach is the appropriate and more cost-efficient strategy considering the challenges the city of Bourbonville will be facing in the next 5 to 10 years. Guided by the incorporation strategy, the Strategic Human Resource Management Plan lays out a specific path for city management and the city staff who perform human resource functions to follow in order to address the city's future human resource needs, the upcoming challenges that the city will face in the next 5 to 10 years, and still have the appropriate level of human resources available. This plan will define the expected level of future human resource management needs, and where there are likely to be deficiency in those needs that will be identified in this plan, how the city can anticipate and address these deficiencies, including where the human resources needed will be sourced from, how the city will ensure these human resources needs can be met via the professional development and training of the existing human resource available to the organization. For recruitment strategies, the main focus and takeaway of this section is we're going for an increased decentralization of the recruitment practices and initiatives, duties to the line managers. Because of this plan, using the incorporation strategy, the level of outside recruitment needs should be relatively low. Instead, this plan places a greater emphasis on employee development and training. Therefore, when the need does arise and has been sufficiently demonstrated to city management and HR, these two groups will authorize the department manager to take the reins on the recruitment process. This plan is calling for a decentralized recruitment process where, with support from the city management and HR department, line managers plan and carry out recruitment initiatives. Under this plan, the city will seek to utilize current workforce by developing an internal recruitment dimension to the city's recruitment plan. The planning team will anticipate the human resource needs of the city for the next planning period, 5 to 10 years, and systematically upgrading skills and skill profiles of those who already work for the city. Skills upgrading programs include things like tuition reimbursement for job-related education and training, and specialized training opportunities provided by or recommended by HR and managers. Given the unique circumstances of the city of Bourbonville is facing, there will be an element of on-the-job training also contributing to upgrading of skills and skill profiles. The first step in the process of selection for this plan is for HR and managers who will be eligible for retirement in the next 5 years to conduct a job analysis for each of those managerial positions. Using the results of the job analysis as the base upon which the tests and examinations used in the selection process will be formed. The existence of these updated job descriptions and analyses will allow for the construction of tests with strong criterion-related validity and content validity. Under this plan, selection is primarily focused on identifying current employees who either 1. Already possess the minimum requirements and KSAs to be eligible for a managerial position which will likely become vacant in the next 5 years, or who possess the general traits or constructs associated positively with job performance in a specific job which they could reasonably be on the career ladder of and who are likely to be eligible for the position via the use of an employee development plan by the time a vacancy is expected for that position. Selection tests will also be utilized to identify those current employees who are a good match for upcoming managerial positions based on these and other factors which selection tests may indicate. For benefits, this plan calls for the use of This plan follows the current trends observed across the public sector in regards to the kinds of benefits and the variety of choices employees have within each benefit category. This choice has been made to support the plan's goal of retaining and developing the city's existing workforce. The range of options and unique emphasis on newer benefits being offered by the city helps to keep it competitive with surrounding jurisdictions and may incentivize the younger employees to remain in employment of the city. For example, in healthcare, in the updated offerings, the city will contract with either one or more company, ideally, however, just a single company, to provide the option between two types of healthcare plans. An HMO, which is a health maintenance organization, which can offer lower costs for employee coverage but higher deductibles and out-of-pocket costs for medical care. It only covers healthcare received in-network and is ideal for employees with low healthcare needs who do not have minors or disabled dependents. The second option is a PPO plan or a preferred provider plan, which generally have higher monthly costs for the employee but allow for them to receive medical care outside of the insurance network that is still covered by their insurance plan. These plans also tend to have lower copays and deductibles. This type of plan is preferred by many employees who have dependent family members as they determine it results in overall more savings and utility from their healthcare coverage. With the goal of retention of current employees in mind, a new benefit highlighted by this plan is flexibility in working schedules and the provision of work-from-home hours for all employees whose jobs do not require them to be on location at the workplace every day of the week. For example, employees may choose to work for 10 hours for 4 days of the week instead of the traditional 8-hour work days for 5 days of a week. This plan places special emphasis on a third benefit, tuition and other education training reimbursement, because one of the main goals of the plan is to generate the required future human resource personnel needs through the employment, development, and promotion of current city employees. This plan calls for an expansion in the scope of this benefit and the number of programs and trainings covered within it, along with an increased effort on the part of managers and HR to promote this benefit be utilized by employees, promoted especially through its incorporation into employee development plans. This plan calls for the use of the factor point technique in developing the new pay structure for the city. The motivation for restructuring and updating the current pay structure is twofold. The looming revenue losses in the upcoming 5 to 10 years is one of the main factors. Widespread creation and updating of job analysis and job descriptions makes this a good time for HR to update the pay structure, which was constructed on the basis of an older and outdated job descriptions and job rankings. A quick summary of the factor point method should illustrate why this method is a good fit for the city of Bourbonville moving forward. First, a set of compensable factors is selected and defined. Examples include KSAs, requirements, responsibility levels, supervisory tasks, and working conditions. These factors are then weighted to assess the relative influence of each factor in determining the value of a given job, with the total value of all factors to sum to 100. Next, HR, with oversight from city management, will identify and define specific levels of each factor for each level and for each level a narrative description will be created and a portion of the points available in this factor assigned to each level. Once the procedure is finished for each factor, the resulting narrative descriptions of the factors, their levels, and the assigned point values for each level becomes the primary standard, and this is used in job evaluations and compensation determinations from here on out. The factor point technique creates a rank in the jobs within an organization. A byproduct of this rank system is the creation of monetary rewards for movement up the career ladder or position rank. Moving up the ladder or rank system represents a promotion for the employee and will come with compensation increases, creating extrinsic motivator for employees to invest in this process and remain with the organization. Encouraging retention and promotion of employees in the city's existing workforce is, after all, the goal of this plan. This method has the added benefit of possible smaller increases in compensation for employees who participate in skills upgrading and specialized training, even if they do not see the full benefits of being promoted to a managerial position would realize. Related to compensation, retirement, and pension plans, it is no secret that at the state level, Kentucky has failed to keep up with its debt obligations to public employee pension funds. Learning from their mistakes of inaction, this plan seeks to take the first steps away from the defined benefits pension system towards increasing the use of defined contribution system of providing retirement benefits to employees. In keeping with the theme of this plan's approach to benefits, rather than restricting new hires to defined contribution systems, this plan seeks to implement it as an option which new and current employees may choose to utilize in their benefits package. By introducing defined contribution plans as an option and not a change being forced onto employees, it reduces the risk of backlash or damage being done to cities' reputations as an employer. This plan has the benefit of addressing this financial issue now instead of waiting for the next generation of city employees to enter the workforce. There is potential for the city to see savings in this area within the first year if enough employees make the switch. The increased monetary benefits that are made possible by the individual control over investment decisions that employees have within their 401k portfolios may also influence other city employees who see this towards making the switch themselves. For performance evaluation, they are key to this plan and are a main part of achieving this plan's goals. With the use of these evaluations, not just to track employees' performance, but to set goals and create a pathway to promotion and climbing the career ladder for employees interested in doing so. During the annual performance evaluation, managers and HR officers will work with individual employees to craft employee development plans and set specific goals related to improving their performance within their current job. Following these plans, it will make it possible. By following these plans, it will be possible for employees to apply for promotion to the positions and managerial roles, which will be opening up over the next 5 to 10 years. Promotions would provide gains in both intrinsic rewards, such as accomplishment and prestige, and extrinsic rewards, such as salary and wage increases. Marginal performance is addressed in this plan by the increased use of performance evaluations and employee development plans to be based on the updated job descriptions and analysis. The increase in monitoring and goal-setting activity should allow HR and management to address problems of marginal performance proactively, avoiding the use of disciplinary punitive actions. Disciplinary actions that can be taken by the city, but which the goal is to avoid, include a revoking of some of the new flexible workplace benefits, such as work from home days. The city can also deny benefits like training and tuition reimbursement, effectively denying the employee to promotions which would positively impact their wages. If there is to be any disciplinary action taken, there must first be an investigation into the claims of marginal performance, and the employee has the chance to appeal any actions taken to discipline them. This is part of why avoiding these actions through proactive managerial and employee development practices is preferable. In the rare cases requiring termination of an employee, the steps needed to be taken in order to comply with the employee's due process rights, beginning with notifying the employee of improper work behavior prior to the termination of the said employee, followed by a hearing where the employee has the opportunity to respond to the claims made against them. If this process is not followed, it opens the city up to lawsuits based on the violations of the employee's rights under the 5th and 14th constitutional amendments. In conclusion, the main focus of the Strategic Human Resource Plan is on the retention and development of the current workforce in anticipation of the retirement of a large portion of employees in the managerial ranks of the Bourbonville City. This is going to be accomplished through improvements and changes to all processes and areas of the human resource management that were discussed in this presentation. Thank you.